Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And today's podcast really comes out of a mental dilemma that I've trapped myself in on numerous occasions, and it might be relevant for you, and if not, hopefully it will be mildly amusing. And it's sort of a question that I've often asked myself over the years about, should I be more proactive? In other words, should I be going out there and trying to make things happen in the world, or should I be more allowing? Should I go with the flow more? Should I just wait for things to come to me? And like any behavioral prescription, there's not going to be one right answer to that because it's a false dichotomy. There, as far as I can tell, is not a right way to be in the world. There are things that work sometimes. And if you're tuned in, you'll tend to go with that. So while I'm going to make a distinction between responsive and proactive and then kind of play with that, it's not really a real distinction. But it might be as fun for you to play with as it has been for me. And basically, the reason that proactivity is considered a good thing is because, well, you go out, you do things, you don't wait around, you make things happen, you're driving the bus, you're in charge, and life's gonna happen because you make it happen. And so there's a certain degree of apparent control over our lives and circumstances that come with it. If you look at the history of the world, everything wrong with the world is the result of proactivity. Of people going out and trying to make things happen that seemed like a good idea for them at the time, that wound up having consequences that were just terrible in the larger picture. But then the flip of it, to just go with the flow, to just respond to things and not be proactive, well, for a lot of people, that quickly goes from going with the flow to drifting. When there's no sense of flow at all, to stagnation. Not stillness, but stuckness. And so neither one is sort of an ideal path. And yet, the advantage of, theoretically at least, going with the flow, being responsive is you're already in life, so you're not going to work against life. Now, the resolution for me of this has kind of come about through a series of almost random instances where I started to notice that I am instinctively, responsively proactive. Now, what that means is, if there's something that needs to be done, I notice I'm really good at doing it. I'm really good at jumping on it and even jumping out ahead of it and moving forward. I remember at one point really surprising myself. This is a long time ago, we were renting, and we were told, got a call suddenly on the answering machine that they were selling the house and we were going to have to move out. And normally I think of myself as somebody who, isn't a real kind of doer in that sense. And I noticed with interest, I was on the phone within 30 seconds calling the owners to talk to them, find out what the time frame was, see if I could buy us some time, calling out to realtors and other people, talking to my wife about it. And within, I don't know, I think the whole thing took 10 days. We'd found a new place to live that was even better than the place we were living. And it was just responsively proactive. I didn't initiate moving before it was time to move, but once it was time to move, boy, did we move. Now, I've had that happen numerous times with courses. So we offer a lot of different courses, and generally speaking, what I've learned to do is leave chunks of space in my calendar because I never know when the next idea for a course is going to show up. And if it does, I'd like to have a home for it in my calendar so I can actually do it. So you could say I'm really passive about creating programs, creating courses, except that the moment an idea comes through that I like, I'm all over it. We kind of pride ourselves on the fact that We can go from idea to program for sale sometimes in as little as a week. And to a certain extent, if it takes more than 2 weeks, we kind of think, okay, maybe this isn't such a great idea. We are instinctively, responsively proactive. And knowing that, for me, has resolved the apparent dilemma about which way should I be. Should I be more proactive? Should I be more zen? And just kind of go with the flow. Is I can be as zen as I can be, knowing with absolute certainty that the moment something shows up that's worth responding to, I can proactively be all over it and make things happen. So for you, just notice, do you tend towards the go with the flow, or do you tend towards the making it happen? And what would it be like if you went with the flow and made things happen? Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and I'll talk to you soon.